Okay, now let us start with the actual concept that we had started in the last lecture. I think in front of you there is a heading wave propagation. As all of we people are belonging to the technical branch or the professional course, I would like to view once again the situation from the top view side. Though we are not related to civil engineering students, we can understand that what do we mean by front view, top view. Again, one more view is there: side view, LHS view, RHS view. I think one more view will be there, sectional view, where we are not going into the depth of civil engineering. And what we have to understand is we are in the third year class studying in the subject electromagnetic field theory. In that electromagnetic field theory, we had started the subject in last month. We have understood the basic concepts of electromagnetic wave. We are knowing Maxwell's equation. Before that, we have studied the vector algebra and have practiced the different coordinate system like cylindrical coordinate system, spherical coordinate system, along with the Cartesian coordinate system. Also, in few of the previous lectures, we have seen the boundary condition. Whenever electromagnetic wave is present in one specific medium, it is not changing its properties at the maximum. But whenever it is changing its medium from one to another, there are considerable changes in the electromagnetic wave that we had seen in the last lecture with the title boundary condition. After that, in the second chapter that we had started, the name of chapter was uniform plane waves. So before continuing with uniform plane waves, we had seen what is the meaning of plane wave. Then we had started with a uniform plane wave. I would like to repeat here, uniform plane wave is a wave in which electric field and magnetic field both are of the same magnitude or of the uniform magnitude everywhere at every point, with electric field and magnetic field perpendicular to the direction of propagation of electromagnetic waves. Also, we had seen few parameters of electromagnetic wave related to velocity of electromagnetic wave, frequency of electromagnetic wave, time period of electromagnetic wave, that had been seen by we all in the last lecture. So in this week, today we have to continue with the wave propagation. How does a wave propagate in a medium? For the same purpose, here we can observe that on the screen, we can see the concept with the heading wave propagation. I think everybody is able to observe the screen effectively, and if there is any doubt or problem, you can post here in the group and you can tell us so that we can make the necessary changes. I think before few minutes there was a breaking of voice as one of the comment, but if it is okay, we will continue. If still there is any problem, you can tell us so that we can change the orientation. So friends, in the heading, as it is indicating that a medium, any medium through which electromagnetic wave is being propagated, will be consisting of a medium which can be divided into three types. One can be considered to be free space or air, in which sigma is equal to 0, that is conductivity sigma value is equal to 0, epsilon is equal to epsilon 0, and mu is equal to mu 0, as here we can observe. In a very similar way, we can understand the concept with a lossless medium, in which there is sigma is equal to 0, but epsilon is not equal to epsilon 0. It will be equal to epsilon 0 into epsilon r. What is this epsilon r? Epsilon 0 is a constant which is related with electric field. Similar to circuit theory, there was resistance. In this field theory, we have to consider permittivity and permeability. So here epsilon is equal to epsilon 0 into epsilon r, and mu is equal to mu 0 into mu r, where mu r is the permeability of the medium. So friends, we have to remember, as the heading is indicating that it is a lossless medium, it can be considered to be an ideal medium. It will not be present in general. Okay, that can be considered to be a lossless medium, similar to an ideal student. Is it their student who can be considered to be ideal one? Many of the students of your class are sincere and very sincere. Also, they are getting good marks in the examination. A good CGPA, SGPA is observed in their marks. But along with that, we can observe that though they are found to be having very good marks, considering all parameters similar to the reference book uses, similar to the practical concern, if suppose student is having 100% output related to the any type of concept is there, that type of student can be considered to be an ideal student. Similar to that, here we can observe a lossless medium can be considered to be a medium which is having no any loss in the propagation of electromagnetic wave. Whenever an electromagnetic wave is being propagated, its amplitude at the start will be maintained as the same amplitude till the wave will be reaching to the end or the required destination. But as all of we people are knowing that it cannot be considered to be practical, lossless medium can be considered to be ideal. Then why we are considering the lossless medium? The reason will be that if we are considering the medium as the ideal medium, we can compare the present medium effects with respect to the lossless medium. Okay, if suppose we have to conduct examination, then what we'll do, we will give a question paper of 100 marks. You have to return it by writing all the answers and solving numericals and attempting the MCQs and all that. If suppose you are having 100 out of 100 marks that we can expect from the ideal student, compared to that student, we can consider the marks of you all. Excuse me. So a lossless medium can be considered to be a reference medium. In a very similar way, third name is indicating that lossy medium is there, in which the medium is consisting of a n number of losses. An illustration of electromagnetic wave can be seen here. I would like to directly show the effect of electromagnetic wave here. Here we can observe that initially the wave is having a good amplitude at the start. We are considering that the wave is proceeding from left and is forwarding or is propagating towards the right hand side. Then initially, if suppose let us consider that it is having an amplitude of 10, after a particular distance we can observe it to be having amplitude suppose 8. Then here we can observe its amplitude to be 6, then it is 4, then it is 2, it is 1, it is 0.5, and so on. This can be considered to be a general example of transmission of electromagnetic wave. Due to the presence of a practical or lossy medium, we can observe the wave will be having a problem, or it will be decreased with the amplitude. Though here we can consider that it is not going to decrease with its amplitude with such a high value, but to visualize the concept effectively, I have shown it with the diagram. Okay, so let us continue once again to the equation or to the numerical part. Now, many of the students present here are thinking that, sir, again have started with the bulk of mathematics. Why? What is the use of this mathematics in our practical understanding will be the question to many of the students present here. Okay, so I would like to add some explanation related to that. Friends, we have to remember that whenever we had joined the branch of engineering, we had been given with the information that if you are having mathematics, then only you can continue with the degree education, because mathematics can be considered to be heart of engineering learning, practical learning. If we are not learning the basics of mathematics, or if we are not practicing with mathematics, it will be creating a huge problem in our career path. That's why we have to understand the concepts of mathematics at the considerable level. I'm not saying that only mathematics is to be continued, but mathematics can be considered to be the heart of engineering education. Now, few students are saying that, sir, we haven't passed from the 12th standard, we have completed diploma. For those students, you can remember that before few years there was the subject by government of Maharashtra that was added, called as general mathematics, Samanya Ganit. And if you are passing with the general mathematics, you were not allowed to continue with the diploma education, because for all the understanding, mathematics can be considered to be the heart of our technical learning. In parallel to that, we can understand that many practical concepts that can be understood by the mathematical experimentation. For that purpose, we have to understand the mathematics behind the concept that we are going to learn. If suppose you are going to learn with the design of electronics, there will be a huge mathematics. If you are studying electromagnetic waves, you have to study mathematics. If you have to continue with the network analysis, we have to continue with the mathematics. If suppose we are removing all the mathematics part from our syllabus. There was one student before few years that was saying that, sir, I hate mathematics, I don't like any mathematical concept. Every time what I will do, I will go for the theoretical parameters in the syllabus, and I will get passed with only those marks. I don't want to solve a single example. Then also it was possible for him to complete with the graduation, but afterwards the logical ability of that student, I observed practically, was similar to a student who have completed the ITI level education. Because if we have to improve our logical ability, mathematics can be considered to be a very good ingredient to cope up with the present needs of technical skills required. If you are removing mathematics from your consideration, then our thinking will be restricted to the students who are not in our branch, but they are forgetting the mathematics at a particular stage, and they are working on only a particular level of their thinking. They are not able to think with the infinity value or infinity limits. In a very similar way, we are knowing that if suppose a radio transistor is having any problem, or that or a similar type of that, if suppose we are going to any TV or transistor repairing person, he will be just knowing that this IC is to be repaired like this. If IC is having any damage, I will have to connect multimeter pins in between these two pins. If suppose voltage is observed, IC is good. If voltage is zero or infinity, IC is bad. I will remove the soldering, I will connect the new IC. That's all. He will not be knowing any block diagram of IC. He will not be knowing the functioning of IC. He will not be having the practical knowledge of function generator and all that. He will be just knowing that there is a black colored IC. I will have to replace it. That's all. So if we are required to deal with similar type of knowledge, then we can continue with forgetting mathematics. But friends, all of we people today will have to remember that mathematics can be considered to be the heart of overall learning. It can be considered to be bones in the human body. What is the purpose of bones in the human body that we know? that everybody is knowing that bones are doing nothing. They are just increasing the weight of we people. But instead of that, if suppose we will consider that all the bones of our body are removed, for instance, what will happen? Will not be able to sit, will not be able to stand, will not be able to walk. In an exactly similar way, consider mathematics as the most essential part in our technical education. So coming back, let us proceed further. So here we can observe one equation concerning the vector theory or general vector theory. We can observe there is equation del cross A. Now what is the del cross A? Del cross A is nothing but a curl of the given vector. If a vector is there, we are finding the curl of the vector. Once again we are finding the curl of vector. Its value will be equivalent to finding the divergence of vector. Whatever is the product, that its gradient value can be calculated, minus del square of a bar. The same vector can be operated with del operator 2 times, and whatever is the result is subtracted, it will be equivalent to the curl of the given vector. In general, vector is considered to be a bar. In a very similar way, if suppose a bar is replaced by e bar, that is electric field, we can write the same equation del cross e bar is equal to del into bracket, that is gradient of the given vector. What is the vector? It is del dot e bar, that is divergence of given vector of electric field, minus del square of e bar. Now we know that from Maxwell's equation, del dot d bar is equal to rho v, and in some specific regions, value of rho v will be equal to 0. Therefore, as del dot d bar can be considered to be equal to 0, here I will consider del dot e bar is equal to 0 for our consideration. Moving ahead, if suppose del dot e bar is equal to 0, I will substitute there, and this term will be total value with 0, and I can write the same equation as del cross e bar equal to minus del square of e bar. Let us consider this equation as equation number 1, and let us proceed further. Just a minute. I करते तस. आता सव्वा काल सुरू केले. हो कॉल कर. Okay. Yes sir, yes. Okay. चले सर. Okay, no problem. Yes. Oh. So here we can observe, sorry for disturbance. The equation 1 is del cross e bar is equal to minus del square e bar. Let us call this as equation number 1. Keeping it aside, once again from the Maxwell's equation we can write del cross e bar is equal to minus b bar dot. This is one of the equation we had derived from the Maxwell's equation, and we know that b bar dot can be replaced by mu into h bar, and mu into h bar, mu can be taken outside because it is a constant. It has no relation with the derivative term or the curl parameters. What I will do, I will take this mu outside of the bracket, and I will write b bar dot with a new variable, that is h bar, as we know that b bar is equal to mu h bar, as dot is there. Similar dot can be continued here. Also from the Maxwell's equation, we know del cross h bar is equal to j bar plus d bar. On the same equation in the square bracket, if we will find the time derivative once again, or if you will say differentiating with respect to t, what we will be getting? We will be getting the equation del cross h bar dot is equal to j bar dot plus d bar double dot. Therefore, I will change this underlined del cross h bar dot with j bar dot plus d bar double dot. Okay, I think this can be understood by every student of the class present here. Therefore, one dot is added here. Therefore, J bar is added with one more dot, and D bar, which is consisting of one dot initially, is added one dot once again. So, if del cross H bar is to be replaced, we can write J bar dot plus D bar double dot. Now we know that J bar is equal to sigma E bar. Therefore, J bar dot will be equal to sigma E bar dot. And everybody is knowing that D bar is equal to epsilon E bar. Therefore, D bar double dot can be replaced with the epsilon into E bar double dot. This can be considered to be equation number 2. Now, comparing and equating equations 1 and 2, we can observe that LHS of both the equation is same. Therefore, RHS also will be equal to same, and we will be getting the equation del cross E bar minus minus sign will be getting cancelled. Del cross E bar is equal to mu into sigma E bar dot plus epsilon E bar double dot. And so we will add a new term in which we can observe here that mu as it is, minus minus is cancelled, the inside bracket is kept as it is. Now, what we have to remember, one more new parameter is dou by dou t. We'll solve it as a practice afterwards. Dou by dou t is to be considered as a j omega. What is the reason? I will tell you in the next lecture. Or also, if suppose you are able to find it out, you can consider it as a part of exercise. Try to find out why dou by dou t is equal to j omega. A sincere and a practical student will tell the answer. Right. Okay. So dot is to be removed. What I have to do? I will have to add a variable j omega. In a very similar way, sigma is kept as it is. If one dot is replaced by j omega, two dot will be replaced by two values of j omega. E bar is kept as it is. If suppose j omega and j omega are taken outside of the bracket, we can have del cross del square of E bar is equal to j omega mu into bracket sigma plus j omega epsilon bracket complete into E bar. This E bar is taken common outside. If it is related to electric field, we can apply in a very similar way that del square of H bar is equal to j omega mu into bracket sigma plus j omega epsilon into H bar. These are these two values that we have just derived, or one is derived and we are considering the similar way of another, are considered as the wave equations for electric and magnetic field. If we have to answer a derivation for wave equation in question paper, we'll have to explain in this full page description. Okay, now let us continue with this term. Now observe this total constant term, because J is a constant value. Omega is the frequency of electromagnetic wave. It is again a constant value. Mu is permeability. It is a constant value. Sigma is conductivity, a constant value. J again is a constant value. Omega is frequency, that is again constant value. And epsilon is again constant value, whose value can be depending on the medium. Therefore, all the terms can be taken apart and are represented like here with one more variable, that is gamma square. We can simplify the equation as a new scientist that we have to consider, who have invented the equation called as Helmholtz equation. Just have a look. I will go back. Hello. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Centered, sir. Centered, sir. Centered. Yes, sir. 304 ला कॉल करा सर. हो. Yes, sir. Sorry, I'm back. So here we have to consider this all constant value can be considered to be gamma square. Why we are using the variable here gamma square will be cleared in next few of the lectures coming afterwards. So, but scientist Helmholtz, this is the name of a scientist who derived that instead of writing this whole constant, I will use only one variable, that is gamma square, and he expressed the same equations above as del square of E bar is equal to gamma square E bar, and del square of H bar is equal to gamma square of H bar, and these equations are called as Helmholtz equation. Whatever you will pronounce, no matter, just you have to keep in mind the spelling over here, Helmholtz, Helmholtz equation. If suppose question is similar to the term that explain or derive Helmholtz equation, you have to write up to this. If suppose the question is that write the wave equation, you have to write only up to page 1. Okay, so moving ahead with the concept, here gamma can be considered to be the square, can be coming to the another side, which will be nothing but square root. Gamma is equal to under root j omega mu into bracket sigma plus j omega epsilon. After finding the root of the value, we will be getting a complex number. What is a complex number? Complex number is a number which is consisting of a real part as well as a imaginary part. Therefore, it will be similar to alpha plus j beta, where alpha will be the real part and beta will be the imaginary part to be considered. So in a very similar way as we have derived gamma, we have to remind for any lossy medium eta, there is eta concept. Eta had been given with a name. To check the connectivity, I will ask to somebody present here. I will ask to whom I can ask. I will ask to my favorite student Prathamesh. Prathamesh, what is eta, friend? Prathamesh, are you here? eta म्हणजे काय प्रथमेश? You can tell me, or you can also post in the chat box. Prathamesh, I think Prathamesh had muted his mic and he went somewhere. Okay, I will ask to topper of the class, Anjali. Anjali, what is eta?
Intrinsic impedance.
Yes, at least Anjali is present. Anjali, what is eta?
Intrinsic impedance.
Intrinsic impedance. Very good. Okay, fine. She is present as well as she is uh, telling the correct answer. Eta is nothing but the intrinsic impedance that is denoted by eta sign. It is equal to under root j omega mu divided by sigma plus j omega epsilon. This term also can be derived, but just here we'll try to remember that eta is equal to j omega mu divided by sigma plus j omega epsilon. As here we can remember, the term outside of the bracket is numerator, the term inside the bracket in the denominator. Why we are learning this phase? It is also deserved for a specific reason. Just here the diagram that we had seen before few minutes, it is nothing but the effect of electromagnetic wave which is traveling. So here is one intention for which we had learned, or we had observed few equations present that we can see. That is, if suppose we are knowing the value of sigma as well as we are knowing the value of omega and epsilon, and if suppose we are finding the ratio of these terms, that is sigma divided by omega epsilon is a value very greater than 1. What is very greater than 1? It will be 10,000, it will be 40,000, it will be 80,000, it will be 1 lakh, it will be 10 raised to 6, it will be 10 raised to 7, whatever it is a very higher value. Okay, and if it is a bad conductor, we can write sigma divided by omega epsilon is very less than 1. If suppose I have to cover or I have to pass an electromagnetic medium from one location A to the new location B. Okay, for that case, I am checking what are the values of frequency permissible. What value of frequency I am going to use or I should use so that maximum wave can be transferred effectively. What will be my preference? Definitely I will be preferring the good conductor value. A good conductor value, as in here, we will be having requirement of this value, very greater than 1. For a good conductor value, if suppose this value is to be a high value, we need the conductor or the conductivity of the medium sigma value to be very high, and this value of omega should be very less as possible. If it is a bad conductor, we can consider it to be this value of, or this ratio can be considered to be a very less value compared to the 1. It will be 10⁻⁻⁶, it will be 10⁻⁻⁸, or similar to that.